I had sex.
What?
You banged your crush at your own party? You are my hero.
Oh God, I was peeing and a condom fell out.
What?
A condom full of goo.
Let's get the Plan B pill.
Is there an alternative?
You mean a plan B?
I love your outfit, Natalie, by the way. It feels like you're going to a party afterwards.
Thank you. It's just a Gucci shirt and some sweatpants.
Fashionable. That's how you can wear sweatpants with that during Zoom. So that's the age we're in.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to talk to you about this movie. I absolutely loved it. I had so much fun watching this. I don't remember a movie I've seen lately that I had that much literally laugh out loud moments with it. You did a terrific job. Tell me, because we've seen kind of in recent years, I think this sort of genre come out with Booksmart, and there's another movie called Unplanned of a similar genre. Tell me what attracted you to this script when you initially saw it. Is there anything that stood out? Do you remember like a moment where you're like, I need to do this? Because did it read as cool as it came off?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like, I read the script and I was like, this has so much potential to be something so cool, you know? And I had not, I mean, I actually read the script before Booksmart came out, so I hadn't seen Booksmart yet, but then when Booksmart came out, I was like, this is so great. Like, and obviously it's going to get comparisons to a movie like Booksmart because it's the only one that there's like an R-rated comedy with starring two girls. It's the only one compared to like Superbad, American Pie, Ferris Bueller, She's All That, 10 Things I Hate About You. Like all these other ones are like, you know, are not, and also this one, not only had two girls at the lead, but two women of color. And that was completely different for me. And then, you know, for example, all of those movies, all those R-rated like teen comedy quest movies are like, the quest is always like, let's get alcohol for the party, or let's get the girl, or let's get my dad's car back in time. And in this one, the quest was, let's get basic healthcare. So
that's a big underlying theme here that cannot be unnoticed.
Yeah, and so I just really loved the idea of, you know, having those real life high stakes things be in a comedy, because I like subverting that, and I like the blending of real life and really funny and really crazy, because that's what real life is. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah. And that kind of brings me about the underlying message here. Is it, I mean, I've never had to been in this situation. I can only imagine. It kind of like was startling to me to see, is it actually that difficult to get Plan B for younger women who find themselves in these situations? Because that's kind of scary to think that, you know, you might have to travel crazy amount of miles to find a place, or go through all these hoops to potentially have it if you don't have any, in a sense, parental support or whatnot. I mean, there's so many different situations. Did you do any research on that and find that to be a fact, in a sense that this is not as accessible?
Yes, of course. We wouldn't have made it if it wasn't a fact. It is. There are many states that have a thing called a conscience clause, which is where a pharmacist can refuse to sell you contraception, actually, no matter what age you are, depending on their personal beliefs. And if you live in a town that only has one pharmacy, or if everybody in your area has the same feeling or beliefs, then you're out of luck. And so this is a reality for so many people, especially for teenagers who may not have money, who may not have transportation, who may not have parental support, as you said. And it, you know, it's just contraception. It's not even, you know, it's something that you can get in places that don't have a conscience clause. You can just buy and go to a register and buy it, you know? So it is a very real problem in a lot of states in this country.
Now, I'm curious, what was the thinking to set it in the Dakotas, technically, this film?
South Dakota is one of the states that has the conscience clause.
Yeah. You see, that makes sense then. You see, because like in a bigger city, you'd imagine there would be more possibilities, but when a small town, when you don't have pharmacies or Planned Parenthoods too, that's an issue too. So, okay, that makes complete sense in that way. I got to ask you, I tried to do like some figuring out here how you got who part of this cast and Victoria. I mean, they're fantastic. I absolutely, this is completely different if one of them's changed out for a different actress or whatnot. Kumail Nanjiani cast her in the first film, The Big Stay.
Yeah.
And you work with Kumail, obviously, on Stuber. Was there any sort of, he gave you like a tip, like, hey, I know this actress. I think she'd be great.
No, I mean, I don't think Kumail cast her necessarily because he didn't direct that, but I know Emily, and Emily was a producer on that and a writer, and Kuhu just auditioned for this and blew us out of the water. And then when I saw that was in her resume, I reached out to Emily. Or actually, Emily reached out to me when the announcement came out and was like, Kuhu's incredible. And I was like, I know, I'm so excited. But yeah, it was all Kuhu. It was all her doing it. It was nobody helped. It was literally, she blew us out of the water. Like she was amazing.
I mean, I can only sell like her facial expression. Everything seems so genuine, authentic. Yeah. And their chemistry, I mean, that's hard to find when you're casting. How did you know? Do you remember the moment when either when they were testing against each other or whatnot that you knew these were the perfect pair? Because literally, like I mentioned, I can't envision this movie without them too.
I know, me neither. And it almost didn't happen. Victoria came in 3 weeks before we started shooting because when we were going to shoot this in March, we had an entirely different character and a different actor in that role. And she wasn't able to do it because she was on another show that wouldn't let her travel to film because of COVID. And so we had to recast with little to no time. And I had the same feeling as you did. I told the producers, I was like, guys, if we don't find the right person for this, it's not going to be good. Like, I don't want to make this movie with just anybody shoved in there. It has to be somebody, they have to have the right chemistry. And because of COVID, they had to do their chemistry test through Zoom. They had never met before. They had to do it all through Zoom. They had to act and, read their lines and do it and pretend to be best friends like that through Zoom. And they were incredible. We all had like chills. We were like, oh my God, we found them. This is like, Victoria was like the perfect Lupe. And it was just, it was really amazing.
How difficult was that? Because I could imagine, like, it's hard to do this in person when you see people interact with people over Zoom to cast a film like that, where the story literally hinges on these two actors having great chemistry. What sort of challenges was the Zoom in this process? Because I can't believe that's twice as hard, probably, too, for them to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, as an actor, I can tell you that would be incredibly difficult. There's already so much. I mean, we're doing it now, just the Zoom construct of like, there's so much, you have to be extra expressive and extra like smiley and extra big with your hands so that people can understand what you're saying. There's all this, there's this performative aspect to Zoom that makes it unnatural in a weird sense. And even if you're trying to be as relaxed as you can, it's just how it works. So to do that and also be a character and also act and also make sure that you're not jumping on the other person's lines and that they can hear you and you're improving back and forth is really hard as an actor. And as a director, of course, I was afraid. I was like, how am I going to know? Like, I don't know, a lot of the people that came in, I'm like, I don't know what they look like from here down. And I don't know what they,
right.
I don't know what they're going to be like when they're together. Like, I had no idea. So it definitely was like a big risk and a big like unknown, but it was the only way we could make it in the time we could make it. And I knew when Victoria came in and did that with Kuhu, I knew that was it. And I had absolute confidence that they were the right people for the role because it was unlike any, like you said, what you saw in the movie.
Yeah, when you watch it, it's just like, it's incredible. It's just so seamless. It's really impressive. What I really appreciate about this movie is that you didn't hold back. You really went for it with everything. It was very transparent. I feel like a lot of people like think this way, but never say it, even on screen sometimes don't. And this movie was really so transparent in the thoughts of these characters and whatnot. Was there sort of a thought process about this that we need to let them lose 100% and not have any kind of like roadblocks or this is too much to say? Or was there any concern about what's being said and how it might be perceived too by the public? Because you never know, some people might find it too offensive or whatnot. How did you kind of go about that process?
I think, once I was like, hey, this is R-rated, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, it is. I was like, okay. And then I just felt like I had license to, not only with their dialogue, but as you saw with certain scenes, I could go as far as I thought we could go. And I had honestly, not to spoil anything for your viewers or your listeners or your readers, but the scene in the playground was something that I was like, I can't believe someone's gonna let me do this, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they let me, because I had never seen a movie with women at the helm that went that far, you know, that let you go there and had that moment. All I want is for audiences to have that moment where they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you know, and I never saw that with 2 teen girls at the lead or 2 women of color at the lead. It just, all the stories about, all the stories about, you know, minorities are always about their struggles and always about like how hard it is to be a minority, which is important. And it also is part of this story, but it's not the story and it's not about that. And so I think what you're getting at is that, like, beyond that scene and in general for the whole movie, the thing that I wanted to focus on the most is to make it always feel as real and as honest as possible, so that their relationships, the way they talked, the way they felt about other people and how they expressed themselves, all of that had to feel as honest and real as possible, because it's the only way you buy anything else that's happening to them. If they are real and like good friends, then the crazy crap that they go through is you're along for the ride, you know, because you feel like you're their friend too. And that's what I wanted.
Was that a prosthetic?
Yes, of course it was.
Okay. It looked so real. It looked real. So I was like, oh my God, at this point, I don't, these girls are going for everything. So I have no idea.
It was a prosthetic, but please don't say that because that's a spoiler. So, but
absolutely. Okay. They won't know. And finally, got to ask you, I thought about watching this movie. There's so much potential to make this into a series. Is there a potential to see these characters kind of evolving and going forward? Because you would want to kind of hang out with them, literally. Has there ever been an idea or thought to turn this into a potential series?
I mean, you know, it hasn't even come out yet, so I hope we'll see. I don't know. I think there is. I feel the same way. I want to hang out with Sunny and Lupe all the time. I think they're great characters, and they felt really good. But who knows what'll happen?
I certainly hope so. I really think this is, I always loved your work as an actress, but as a director, I think you're entering this really cool realm and doing some cool things too. So I'm so looking forward to see you next directing and acting, Natalie. You've got it all going on.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to connecting again.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks, Jim.
Bye.
We need the morning after pill.
I got one more right here.
That could be anything.
My girl, it's a pill.
Sunny?
It's like a really small chance it might be PCP.